Yeah, today I'm talking to you about diabetes mellitus, which is a very common illness today in the entire world as well as in Sri Lanka. Type 2 diabetes mellitus can be described as the mother illness for all non-communicable diseases, right? Like what? Complications of diabetes mellitus, ischemic heart disease, strokes, peripheral vascular disease, blindness, cancers, renal failure, because of the renal failure dialysis, renal transplant, and peripheral vascular disease resulting in amputations. All these suffering in the patient and their actually these all cause suffering in the patient, for the patient as well as their families. Plus, it's a huge economic cost for the country. You can see why it's an economic cost, because more and more young people are now getting this illness. So now in the present situation, more and more young people are getting this disease, which are the economically active group. So there's this decline in the production, which again has economic impact, and also cost of care, individual, so the family, society, and the country. And also it's lifelong treatment. Almost all households in Sri Lanka today at least have one diabetic patient. So the best option is primary prevention, that is preventing this disease coming to you. This was a Newsweek publication which says the growing crisis, diabetes, the silent killer. Scientific research shows a persistent explosion of cases, especially among those in their prime life. So these shows the. Now you can see this picture. Both mother and daughter, those are both obese, right? Now that is a condition which can lead to diabetes. Now you get what's called the impaired glucose tolerance. Once you get that condition, sometimes you can, about 1/3 can come back to this one, the normal glucose tolerance. Some will remain 1/3 in that condition, and about 1/3 of them will go to develop diabetes. Of course, there are various benchmarks for the normal glucose tolerance, fasting blood sugar less than 100, impaired glucose tolerance 100 to 126, and diabetes over 126. Of course, these can vary because of there are various, from time to time, they change these definitions. Then also there is another blood measurement which reflects the past 3 months blood sugar level, which is called the HbA1c, and again normal is less than 5.7%. IGT or impaired glucose tolerance 5.7 to 6, and over 6.1 as diabetes. But again, as I said earlier, these can vary from even physician to physician. They might, Now these are the risk factors I have mentioned. Psychological stress come right on top, and then smoking. Then also even maternal smoking can have an effect on the fetus. Then also the increased cortisol with when you have under stress. Then unhealthy lifestyle, lack of sleep, physical inactivity where you are not active physically. Then also the other factors, and central obesity. Now this is a very important thing where you get fat deposited in the viscera, like the liver and things like that. Now the visceral fat, now actually when we were students, fatty liver disease was very rare. Now fatty liver disease is where more than 5% of the liver consists of fat, right? Now that was rare, but now they say about 50% of the young adults have fatty liver disease. So this is very serious situation. Then all these risk factors are there. And there are various risk factors. Then also now here I have just shown a cell with the nucleus, and the blue one is the cell wall, and these are the insulin receptors, and these are the glucose receptors, and this I show as purple is the insulin, and this is a normal blood vessel capillary where everything is intact, right? Now see what happens. Now insulin comes and enters the receptors, which opens these glucose receptors, and then the glucose goes inside the cell and it's burned, so the cell functions normally. And also the capillary is normal. Now see what happens with diabetes. Now the insulin receptors are down regulation, they are hidden in the cell wall, they have sunk into it, only a few may be open, right? And then you can see, so very little insulin enters the cell, and therefore only a very just a few of the glucose receptors open up, and only a very little glucose gets inside the cell. So now what happens, there is internal starvation within the cell. So what happens, there's a lack of glucose inside the cell, so there is lack of energy, so that people will feel lethargic, sleepy, tired and things like that because of this problem. And look at this little capillary. Now that's not the normal capillary, it's all swollen, there's hemorrhage, there's rupture of the blood leaving from that. So when this happens, it affects that particular organ. Now here you can see the foot with an ulcer, because when these capillaries are damaged, it affects the nerves also, and they can't feel. So when they can't feel, they injure the leg or the foot, and ultimately it can lead to causation of an ulcer. So these are diabetic ulcers, and here you can see another ulcer which has also gone into gangrene. Now here what happens is, the normal person on that side, the eye, you can see normally, but here is the person where the capillaries are damaged, therefore it affects their vision. So part of the visual field is affected, they can't see. Now for prevention of diabetes, actually health education and avoidance of the risk factors and adoption of a very healthy lifestyle is very important. Now again, in chronic inflammation you should prevent, because now especially even the oral cavity, if there is inflammation of the oral cavity, poor oral hygiene, it can produce what are called pro-inflammatory cytokines, which can lead to practically diabetes, cancer, heart disease, everything, right? So that is important. And also you have to think of the lungs, health of the lungs, as well as the intestine, right? Because those, if there is chronic inflammation even in these organs, it can lead to production of inflammatory cytokines, leading to all these non-communicable diseases. So healthy diet, taking a healthy diet is important, with lot of fiber. Fiber means like fruits and vegetables, and low sugar and fat, and avoid also important margarines, right? Trans fats, those are very bad. The secret killer, now this actually came in a Time magazine about chronic inflammation, what I just mentioned, because that can be the cause for almost all diseases. Now there is a football pitch, and they say that if you stretch out your intestine, gut and intestines, the surface area of that will be like equivalent to the surface area of a football pitch. So that is the area which is available for both if it is not healthy, production as well as absorption of the pro-inflammatory cytokines. Now the lungs, if you stretch out, the surface area will be the area of a tennis court, a huge area. So now again, if there are inflammation in the lungs, now this is the area available for both production and the absorption of pro-inflammatory cytokine. Now this is actually about a mosquito net. Now this is a common thing. You have to wash your mosquito net at least once a week. If you are living by a highway, you might have to wash it twice a day. Now this lady was with the grandchild, and when we went for a home visit, we found she was suffering from asthma. So I saw this net, and I told the students and got her to wash this net once a week. And you can see the clean dress. And actually her asthma stopped. There are several cases where I got them to wash their mosquito net once a week. And when I was at Anuradhapura, about 3 of people who had been taking asthma medicine for about 3-4 years managed to discontinue, stop everything after they started washing their mosquito net once a week. So these are various studies. They have shown that even we can control the risk factors for diabetes by adopting a healthy lifestyle. Now screening is very important. Now that is actually, there are so many people. Now you can see this, the green part is the one part we can see. So those are the diagnosed cases of, say, diabetes, cancer, or whatever disease. And the red one is the sunk, like an iceberg, which is sunk under the water. Now you can't see that. So but if you do testing, and then we might be able to detect these unseen cases, because they can progress like that to various complications, and they can come to you first with a heart attack or blindness or a stroke. But had you done a blood test and found out whether they are actually fine with diabetes, you could have taken preventive measures. Avoid cigarette smoke, again very important, because as I said earlier, now the cigarette smoke also causes irritation of the lungs and cause chronic inflammation and production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Then leading a stress-free life, very important. Relaxation, listening to soft music, meditation, watching sunsets, living with pets, etc., also very important. And of course, adequate sleep is of vital importance. Now here, researchers following about 4,500 children aged 9 and 11 found an inverse relationship between sleep and BMI, insulin levels and insulin resistance. That means lack of sleep was related to these conditions. So a healthy diet you have to take, like a fiber-rich diet, that is a lot of vegetables, fruits, and also when you eat fruits, you must take it in the form of whole fruit rather than in the form of a fruit juice. Then avoid refined carbohydrates like bread and white flour and things like that. Fizzy drinks, now these are very dangerous because they are loaded. Even a small can of these fizzy drinks has about 8 teaspoons of sugar. Now here you can see obesity among children, and these are all fast foods. You see, now this is the present generation, and now this is a very important statement made by Professor Zimmert. Referring to the modern generation of children, he says this would be the first generation where the children may die before their parents. So you can see the situation of this, the gravity of this situation. It is predicted that very soon diabetes is going to be the biggest epidemic in human history. It will be a pandemic, like now what is COVID-19 is doing. Then now they have found a very simple ways to find central obesity. Now central obesity is where there's deposition of fat in the liver and the internal organs, and you get a huge tummy. Now there are various things, but ways to ideal way to measure your now actually you take your height, say if you are 5 feet, that is 60 inches. Now you take a string, half of that, right? So that is 30 inches, and you send it round your waist after expiration, and the two ends should meet or overlap. Now if the two ends do not meet, that means you have so many inches of fat you have to get rid of. So you can do one. So here you don't have to even measure your weight. You just have that piece of string. As an adult, it can be used fiber, and then you can just see whether with exercise and dieting whether these two ends are coming together. Now this is central obesity here on the left side, and that's a normal person. There is a mild obesity. Now this is a person with huge central obesity where you can see all the fat is deposited and the liver fat is getting deposited. And also they say when the liver fat goes over 5%, it goes into, it spills over to the pancreas, and the pancreas should have only 6% fat. But moment it goes above 8%, you develop diabetes. So physical activity very important, muscle strengthening exercise. Again, chairs kill more than cigarettes, because when you are seated, the metabolism is very slow and your blood sugar and your blood fat levels build up. So therefore, always if you have to be seated, every half an hour get up and walk at least a few steps. Adequate intake of chromium. Now this is a slide again we did, and you can see that here in this slide, of course, basmati was doing very well, right? While the glucose, even the red raw rice was okay, but these are some of the slides which we. Now here this one, the primitive diet and the modern diet, you can see how the primitive diet, we ate unrefined food, high fiber, low fat, low salt, without additives. Now the glucose absorption takes place over a long part of the gut, right? And on the other side, modern diet, refined, low fiber diet, the glucose absorbed very quickly into the blood. So now look at these two curves. Now this is a low GI, that is good, right? While the other one is a high GI. So now that is actually, you can see the glucose peaks to a very high level, and therefore there is overproduction of insulin, and then it dips below. Now here you get actually, you feel hungry. So when you eat bread and go for the morning, 10 o'clock you are very hungry, so you have to eat some more. So it's a vicious cycle. But if you had eaten unrefined high fiber diet, you feel full for a long period of time. So there's no necessity for you to go on eating. So that is very important. This is again another slide where this is uncooked rice, and now this is actually gelatinized rice. That is, gelatinized rice means when you cook, but now that is GI glycemic index is high. But if you parboil rice, you get this situation where there is retrogradated starch, so that is good. So the digestion is slow. So therefore, raw rice, better to eat raw parboiled rice, tambapuhal, than kakuluhal. So I have in this lecture I have presented some of the facts about diabetes, the risk factors, and how to and also about the complications of diabetes and the steps that should be taken to prevent diabetes.